This is James Corbett of CorbettReport.com. I'm here at the third annual 911Truth conference in Japan, and we're here at the Kobe edition of that conference with Mr. Richard Gage, the founder of Architects and Engineers for 911Truth. Mr. Gage, it's good to finally meet you in person.
It's incredible, James. Thank you. I'm glad we got to meet here in Kobe.
Me too, absolutely. Well, it's great to have you here. Is this your first time in Japan?
Yeah, I've been here just over a week, and I've been blown away. The people are incredibly wonderful, receptive. They're also listening to this evidence. They're responsive, more so than Americans even. And we got to meet with 8 members of Parliament the other day, and an incredible meeting that they found this evidence also to be very convincing.
Tell us about that meeting. Who was there?
We had Fujita-san and 7 others, and I don't know their names, but they look like very important people to me. We presented the evidence over 45 minutes. Several of them indicated shock, actually, at this information, not having heard it before. And it is actually visible support for us. They were visibly moved, that is, and they expressed support for us.
And I understand that this is just the end leg of a longer tour that you've been doing for the last few weeks, is that right?
Yes, in fact, we started in Australia with 3 events, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, and then we were in New Zealand, in Auckland, Christchurch, Wellington. And
the response has been pretty good overall?
Oh yeah, in fact, we got some mainstream media in New Zealand on TV, on prime time. We've got some great radio interviews with well-known radio personality Kim Hill there, which packed our museum appearance with 730 people came. We had to turn 110 of them away.
Well, that's very exciting to hear. And I understand this. You did a European tour last year. Is that correct?
Yes, with 9 cities across 6 countries in Europe.
And of course, you've spoken all across America. So now you've had obviously a wide range of experience presenting this to very different audiences in different countries. Has there been varied reaction, or has the reaction been fairly standardized?
Oh, I would suggest that it's been fairly standardized with some exceptions, like at the Te Papa Museum in New Zealand, where we had to turn away 110 people. That doesn't happen very often. But we also have once in a while 20, 30 people showing up in a hall that will hold 100. Largely we've been having halls that almost filling 200 or 300 people. That's kind of the average, and it's standard across countries and in America as well, other countries in America.
Well, I must admit, I've obviously seen this material in many different forms over the years and seen it online mostly. And to see it in person, I think, is quite a very different experience. So for me, I was quite affected by the presentation. I thought seeing it live was a truly moving experience. And I think if we had the opportunity to get more people around the world to see this presentation, I think that the only people who would really argue for the official story are the people who created the official story. But that's maybe my opinion. But
those people who are not willing to look at the evidence that we have in our DVD, for instance, which is 2 hours long, you only got about less than half of that tonight.
That's exactly right. So tell people how they can find out more about this information and how they can help you spread this information.
Yes, well, we have a website. It's AE911Truth.org, and that stands for Architects and Engineers for 911Truth. We present all of the evidence on the website. The DVD is available there. The PowerPoint's available to step through. We're asking everyone to sign our petition, architects, engineers, and others. We're asking everyone to send our link, AE911Truth.org, to every architect and engineer that you can find and everybody else that you know. This is a grassroots movement growing by millions every year. It's the only way the main way we get airtime is word of mouth. And we're asking everybody to send this information and our literature to members of Congress, the media, and others, academicians, everybody that they know. This is how it's spreading. It's a wildfire, and it's growing fast.
And I understand you're going to Okinawa after this, and is there any other stops on this tour?
That would be the last stop, and then there's a couple of days of rest in Okinawa, and we've had, 7 events 7 presentations in Japan, 2 meetings with structural engineers, which are very prominent structural engineers who have done work on the World Trade Center. One of them, Professor Wada, was not too interested in what we had to say the least. He had his theories that he needed to defend, and his much work that he has done proving that these I'll say in quotes, that these vertical perimeter columns sprung out, and that's how their distance, 200 meters, was achieved from the side of the Twin Towers. The other one, a gentleman, Professor Isobe, from Tsukuba University, he was very open and very interested and disturbed by what he had seen, and this evidence he was unaware of. So we were very pleased. So Fujita-san set this up, a member of Parliament, these 2 meetings for us, and so we got 1 out of 2. I think there is a good story.
It certainly is, and I'm sure, as I say, I'm sure you'll have a lot more success in the future. So best of luck in Okinawa, and thank you so much for coming to Japan.
Thank you, James. It's a pleasure.